Backing him into a corner is really hard. He also has a few traps here and there, and some monsters that have abilities when they're destroyed by battle. Unbelievable! I'm surprised the English dub for the show didn't get more flack about how they're like bad Asian stereotypes, kind of. Alright, so no branching paths here. Newcastle is as far north as we're gonna go. We're not gonna go into Scotland.
Yeah,
so
I'm pretty sure we're all gonna get a Shih Tzu once we defeat Pegasus.
Yeah, she's over here on the island, the Isle of Man, actually, and in order to get to her, we've got to go through Pegasus. So here we go. Arguably the hardest fight on the Red Rose campaign, and it's available after you beat Weevil. We could go straight to Pegasus if we wanted to. That's how non-linear this campaign is. So, time for Pegasus, and I have been dreading this because he is by far the nastiest opponent we face. I actually may want to modify my deck just ever so slightly before we attempt this because I want to add some powerful like spot removal spells. I actually can do a reincarnation here. I may go ahead and reincarnate Shift because it's a high deck cost, and I have no use for it, so I'll get some different things. Kaiser Dragon, that's kind of nice. That's the highest attack point, base attack point monster you can get in a starter deck. Tremendous Fire, that's a card that Pegasus will be using against us. And then Machine King, that's actually a card that Bandit Keith had that we never got to see. It's actually an alternate artwork for Machine King too than what was in the actual game. And it does exactly the same thing as it does in the actual game, so that's kind of nice. Alright, should we... I think we might want to put in Tremendous Fire, just because we can't get to the bastard.
Yes. Yes.
So, I'm going to be taking out... Let me see.
So, yeah, try and keep your spells, though. Your traps.
I'm going to take out Labyrinth Tank, because there's no Labyrinth Terrain. Actually, there is briefly, but it wouldn't be beneficial to traverse that, because... so, Tremendous Fire... It wouldn't be beneficial to go over that Labyrinth Terrain because what awaits us on the other side. Yeah, it's one row. What awaits us on the other side is just his Toon Terrain, which is really nasty. Alright, do I want Frame Rate Crush or Fissure? I think I want Fissure because that can really... Let me see. If only there was a Destroy All Toon Monsters in the field, that would be great. But that would be a little broken. Actually, maybe I want Monster Reborn. Copycat. Copy of Tremendous Fire. Maybe both. Maybe I want Monster Reborn and Tremendous Copycat. Tremendous Copycat.
Tremendous Copycat.
Let's take out an Actuator, Monster Reborn. And I think I also want Fissure. Let's take out... I think I'm gonna... Which one of these is worse? 200... Let's take out that one. Okay. Balancing, done. We still have actually a relatively low deck cost, but I honestly have everything I need to beat the rest of the opponents till the end of the game, pretty much. I'll beef up the deck to its maximum potential when we go against the final boss, of course, but... What are you doing?
I'm messing with my flab right now.
Your flab?
My flab.
Oh god, do I want to do a Pegasus impression? I think... So you are the famed Rose Duelist.
Yeah.
I am Pegasus Crawford, the champion of the Northernlands, the noblest of the Yorkists, and master of the Rose Crusaders. I'm also known as... Oh my god, it's another historical... I forgot about this. So Thomas Stanley, or Lord Stanley to my... Oh my god, I forgot about this. Let's duel.
My mom.
So obviously, Pegasus needs no introduction because everybody should know who he is. He's in the anime's continuity. He is the founder of the card game. He's the founder of Duel Monsters. He localized it from the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs or whatever, and he made some cards for himself that he really likes. He made tunes, and so if I didn't say what the tune terrain does before, the tune terrain decreases the power of every monster that enters it except for monsters that have the ability to have an attack bonus on tune terrain, and we'll go over those when they're relevant. His deck leader is that really dickish monster that Solomon Moto used, or Jasper Dice Tudor, I should say. The Illusionist Faceless Mage that spellbinds the opponent's monster. It's a Vice Admiral, and I think it has some nasty second support range and same type attack bonus. Although that's not super great because he doesn't have a whole lot of spellcasters. So Pegasus does some incredibly nasty things though, because not only is it darn nearly impossible to get into his area to get through his defenses, because he has the tune terrain where all of his monsters naturally have an attack bonus and all of yours naturally don't, but also
Traps.
it's a trap. Like tons of traps, tons of monsters with nasty effects that spellbind you or decrease your power when you battle them. And then he also has, like, he doesn't play around with his spells either. He has Mimicat, which is a 80 deck cost card that's basically like Copycat, except it can work in either player's graveyard. It's called Doppelganger in the show, but obviously they already have a Doppelganger in the show. I'm sorry, in the actual TCG they already have a card called Doppelganger, so they had to call it Mimicat again in the TCG, and it doesn't do anything like it does in the game here. He also has Change of Heart, which is oh, thank God. That's one of his most dangerous monsters there. It's Toon Summon Skull, which, because Summon Skull is only a level 6, is easy to get on the board, and he has same type attack bonus on the Toon terrain, but we managed to weaken it a little bit there. Unfortunately, I may have to go ahead and deploy Sojin where it is right now, because I'm not going to be able to get over his monster. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. At least we'll be able to get rid of some of his Toon terrain. I have another Sojin too, so I can actually do the same thing on the other side of the map, and that will pretty much box him into a corner there. So that really cuts him down to size a fair bit. I know this seems like a repetitive strategy that I'm using over and over again, and it is, but it does work. Let's see. Let's get Flame Swordsman and wait to power him up a little bit. Now, I added one card when I won some cards from Yugi when I was grinding before the end of the White Rose tournament, and I added a fairly generic monster in here that actually is sort of my trump card against Pegasus, because I shouldn't say it's my trump card, but it's a very specific counter to a very specific card that he has that is a game ender pretty much. He also has Tremendous Fire, as I said before, but let's put Tears of Mermaid down behind Flame Swordsman and just kind of send him in.
Send the troops.
Silent Infiltration. Whatever that is next to him, I'm sure can't take the punch after some. Well played, Pegasus. Well played. So he's gonna burn us, and there's nothing we can do to respond to that whatsoever. So we're just gonna take automatic damage. And the thing is, if you have 3 of those, and you activate all 3 of them, you've burned us down to 1,000 life points. It's not fair at all.
And you also have other burning blows too, though.
Yeah, and Just Desserts is even worse, but we already talked about that when we dueled,
oh,
can't wait over there.
Right.
See, this is the bitch of it with Pegasus. But yeah, his nastiest card by far is Change of Heart, because it just, for no cost, for absolutely free, takes control of one of your opponent's monsters, and that's not as good as it is in the actual TCG, because that card could be miles away from your opponent's deck leader when you take control of it, and it's not really going to do a whole lot of good. I'm going to get rid of Nicoriel here. I hope I don't make something with this. Oh, okay. That's the one time I didn't want to make a fusion. Just leave her there until I can get something else on the board. Please run into my trap, you idiot. Supposedly, this is I guess this is more of a rumor than anything, but supposedly, Pegasus has a unique AI script that allows him to see either what's in your hand or what you have face down. So he doesn't fall for traps nearly as easily because he's the whole Millennium Eye thing. He's supposed to be aware of what you play. And that's been done in a lot of different Yu-Gi-Oh games, I've noticed. There we go. That's more like it. I hope he's spellbound for more than... I'll still be able to hit him, but I hope he's spellbound for more than one turn. Oh, we'll still do a lot of damage. And I can copycat his Tremendous Fire. Okay, let's wait it out. Not every Toon monster in the actual game has been adapted in this game. For instance, Toon Blue Eyes is not in this game because Toon Blue Eyes would just be so abusive. But, so Toon Summon Skull is actually the strongest inherent Toon monster. Let's see, do I want to play... Yeah, let's go ahead and power up even more, her even more.
Well, I use tactical use.
You will. So I'll put her up almost to 4,000. Oh, duh. I was like, what am I doing wrong?
Ouch.
Alright, back to the drawing board. Literally. Alright, so next turn I'll be able to burn him with his own tremendous... Well, it'll take another turn for me to activate that Tremendous Fire if I bring it back. I think. See, this is what he does. He just sets up a wall around himself and just waits you out. And if you enter it, you're going to regret it. Unless he... There we go.
You could wait him out, too.
At this point, I don't need to because I drew my own Tremendous Fire, so I can go ahead and kill him right now. It'll just take me a couple turns to be able to get those cards off. Actually, I'll kill him next turn because I'll be able to play my own and then activate the one I have set. And that'll be game for him unless he can negate the effect. He could have Magic Jammer, I'm not 100% certain. I do think he actually has a ritual. I think he has Mask of Shine and Dark, which is a Toon monster, if I'm not mistaken. I could be completely off base on that. But, yeah, there are also several cards that are not Toons in the real game that have that passive ability to be Toons in this game, such as Dark Rabbit, I think Saga the Dark Clown, and Paradragon. Paradragon is also treated as a Toon in this game, even though it was not in the TCG, because it's a passive ability where it can still be a normal monster without an effect and have that Toon ability. Alright, so we made pretty short work of Pegasus there, but I promise you he is obnoxious to beat. I didn't even get to show off the card that I wanted to show, but thankfully he never played Change of Heart, because if I left Command Knight sitting next to me, he would have taken control of it and just swung on me.
I think if you were to start with this side first, it would have been a lot better. We would have had the same cards.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I did the White Rose side first, but also, I think it also won out on... No, I don't think it won out on... we got Illusion's Face with Mage, which I'll probably never use, but it is a good card.